Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. Are you ready to get artsy? I sure am. Okay, so let's see. What do we have to talk about? Well, I got some happy mail, and I want to share that with you, and we're going to use that to play with our September art printable. Everybody make sure you have a big drink. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Debbie. Well, I hope we're a good distraction at the Mayo Clinic this morning, Debbie. Good morning, Keels. Good morning, Carol. So I had my annual physical yesterday. That's always a daunting thing, isn't it? You're like, oh, please let everything be okay. And everything's okay. Anyway, I got my flu shot. I'm feeling fine. But I am so ready to paint this morning. Like I had other work I needed to do yesterday. I dealt with some major technical difficulties with my website, trying to post Amazon links for gouache that we used in Saturday and Sunday's classes. And I'm hitting some kind of snafu. I'm sure there's probably some easy explanation for it, but I played with it yesterday and to no avail. And so remember, I am going out of town on Friday and I'll be back on Tuesday. So next week's art printable will be, next week's pop-in paint parties will be Wednesday and Thursday. And so I will be I will get technical support, aka Tessa, over here the following weekend, and she'll, I'm sure, do it in like lickety-split. Whatever. So just know that that's why things haven't been added. Well, Debbie, you are in our thoughts, that's for sure. You are in our thoughts. Good morning, Joni. How are you? Hi, Vicky. Good morning. So I wanted to share with you. Hi, Deborah. How are you? Welcome. If you're brand new here, please like, follow, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then ask to join our private Facebook group. So I have two. Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott and Stitch the States with Ann Corbiere-Scott. Stitch the States is where is my stitchy group. So, but it's 30 minutes of easy conversation and slow stitching. So, Laura, you have so been in my thoughts. Oh my gosh, you're right there, aren't you? I hope that, you stay safe and dry, and I hope you got my note about my Amazon thing. I hope that all came through. Good morning, Christine. How are you today? So today we are going to talk about... Oh, me too, Carol. Me too. So I got my package. There's nothing like happy mail, like happy artsy mail, is there? So I got my package from the Netherlands, from I believe her name is, I looked it up online and it's pronounced Myrtle, which I don't know how that's pronounced, Myrtle, but no judgment for me. I'm just saying. Anyway, I order, and I've checked I've shown you the other handmade watercolors I've bought from her. They're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. So I had ordered these two dot cards. Man, my brain's not working so well this morning. And look at this. Look at that gorgeousness. That will totally be going in my art journal. This is like, she packages everything so beautifully. It's wrapped like a present, and it has some gorgeous ribbon on it, and this hand painted, or this hand lettered tag. And then she always writes a handwritten note. And so the two that I got were So Sweet and At the Coast. Aren't they beautiful? And then she includes these little samplers. Shut it. Look at them. Peony, Supernova, and Ocean Breeze. And so I thought I would share with you how I paint with dot cards. I love dot cards because they're a way to test out some colors, to see if I want to order a half pan. That's what I usually order, is a half pan. Doesn't she make you feel so special, Debbie? I'm telling you, her stuff is, and she's just the sweetest person in the whole wide world. I had posted I posted a picture of my package that she had sent me, and in the night, because she's in the Netherlands, you know, she sent me a note and said, could you take that down because it shows my address? And I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. Sorry about that, you know. Anyway, so let's just start painting and chatting, shall we? So these are usually mounds. As you can see, I've already started fiddling with them because, remember, I always do a swatch chart of everything so that I can see the colors that I'm working with, and that helps me choose my colors when I'm gonna paint. So I'm gonna bring some water over here. Good morning, Linda. How are you? Wet my brush, and now let's paint with that beautiful pink. It's so pretty. How can we resist, right? So I just start to get some water right there in the center, right? And then remember, just like any water-based product, you're just gonna work that, just work that water into the paint, right? I am so great, Linda. Please, I'm hanging with my pals. I'm painting. I am doing just fine and dandy. Okay. So I'm going to play with well, I could just use my palette here. I'm going to pull some of this off because I want to create a watery wash of this color first, right? So we can pull a little bit more, work some more water into that. And these colors are, oh my gosh, they're so shimmery and pretty, right? A little bit more water. And then I don't know, let's go here. Good morning, Maureen. Look at this. And I'm just going to fiddle around here. The shimmery colors are a funny thing. You really need to they're going to be lights and darks, right? Because of the shimmer, and that is depending on which way you're looking at them and which way you're, you know, it's kind of funny. So I'm going to try this macaron. I'm going to work that water in there and pull that, and you know what, and I have still some pink on my brush. Pull some of that off. You know what? I absolutely can, Deborah. In the description of this class, I put a link for my art printable and for Myrtle's paints. So they're right there. She has an Etsy shop, Watercolors by Myrtle. It looks like myrthe, Myrthe. But there's a link right in the description of this, in the description of this posting. So I'm gonna bring some of that in down here. You're welcome. I just think it would look so pretty blended out like that, you know? What if we go a little darker down here? That's so pretty. And let's use some green for the stem. And like I said, again, we're just working that water into that dot of paint. And I think her dots are very generous. You can paint quite a bit with her dots. And then you can decide whether which ones you want to get a bigger half pan of. Oh, so pretty. Oh my goodness, I bet they're gorgeous, Debbie, on black. Because of that shimmer, I bet they're gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna try this blue. It's called Slush Puppy, which I love. I love that she named it Slush Puppy. So let's really work that. You can feel it. Remember we've talked before about you can feel when it kind of breaks a little bit. Good morning, Kelsey. Oh, Kelly, excuse me. Hi, Jimmy. I am headed your way at the end of the week, Jimmy. I will be in Billings on Friday. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for cooler weather, number one. Mine took longer than 8 days, Deb. And I'm sure it's because I'm further away than you. So I'm just deepening my colors here by going over my... Remember I did that base coat of the watery pink. Now I'm just going to, little by little, blend that. Look at how pretty that is. Look at this candy heart. Again, just gonna, oh, and you know what I did, what I bought myself for Christmas? And you guys might, there are a few left. She has advent calendars. And they're different sizes. Like you can get a half pan, or you can get I think a quarter pan or a full pan. Oh, from Artistic Isle, Debbie. Yes, I've ordered from her too, and I love her paints too. Anyway, Myrtle has a advent calendar that you can buy for yourself, or have someone buy for you. You pick it out. Anyway, so for Christmas, there's, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about that. It'll probably be my favorite Christmas present. It's just what I always wanted. So I'm just kind of layering more and more layers while this is still wet. Then once it dries, I can come back and fiddle around some more. I think that's so pretty. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they beautiful? So this one is called So Sweet, and she does have palettes of them. Let's try At the Coast. Look at these blues. Are gorgeous, aren't they? I just love that. So let's see. And At the Coast, I'm feeling like this. I don't think I have anything else that needs green. So I'm going to start with, let's start with Waves. I just like to get a little drop of water on everything and let that start its magic, right? And then we're going to start working it in, working it in. And can I tell you, that's quite mesmerizing as you just watch those shimmery pigment just swirl, swirl, swirl. So pretty. Working that in. Talk about what do you call that? ASMR, whatever. I don't know. But watch that. Do you see how you can watch it just shimmer and it's so pretty. It is like a snow globe. It is. You are absolutely right. So Jimmy, the link to her Etsy shop is in the description of this posting of this video. Look at this. And this is the lighter of the two colors. Look at how beautiful it is. I think my art printables and her paints make a beautiful marriage. Hi, Kathy. How are you? So I think, I don't know what it is about handmade watercolors, but I'm just delighted with them. I think because they're so unusual, like, the colors are unusual. Yeah, so there's a link for this art printable. I'll just stuck my hand in it, and a link to her shop underneath it. Look at that. So pretty. It's the clove, isn't it, Debbie? They smell like cloves, and it's just, oh, I love it so much. Everybody take a drink. Okay, now I'm going to come in with that deeper blue called Atlantic. Work that water in. I know sometimes I just open them to smell them. So Tam, these are the ones that I'm using today are from Watercolors by Myrthe, and they are, oh my gosh, look at this. Like, it's making a line right down the center. Stop it right now. That is so pretty. And there's a link in the description. Oh my gosh. That line is making me so happy. The ones from Florida is Artistic Isle. Or is it Hydrocolor? Which one is it, Debbie? Sorry about that. So the Hydrocolor, it's Hydrocolor. Those are the other shimmery ones. And she's super sweet too. And I'll show you my Hydrocolor tin. Hydrocolor right here. Look at those, all those shimmery colors. And they smell so good, like cloves. She uses clove oil as part of her binder, and that's what, makes them smell so good. And isn't it just, they're just beautiful to watch, to see. Yeah. So you get more, I love the samples because that gives me like a test out a color, you know? So I'm going to leave this one. I want to paint the center. I'm thinking I want to use that red sunset, but I want to wait until this dries. I love that that paint just kind of trickled down like a, right down the center of each petal. Isn't that pretty? And that some of them filled in and some of them didn't. Some of them it's a distinct line. Some of them it is not. And when you, the way the light hits it, it's going to look different every time. I love that. I'm going to turn. I am on watercolor paper, especially with handmade watercolors. I try very hard to work on watercolor paper. You're going to get the best results with that. Although I have not tried it on copy paper with watercolor ground. Maybe I could do that again another day. Okay, I have these colors. Look at this. Supernova. I'm loving that. Peony and Ocean Breeze. So the Supernova, wait till you see it. It's so pretty. Well, I can show you on my, there's Supernova. Peony, Ocean Breeze. Aren't they beautiful? So pretty. So I'm just starting to work that water into that dot of color. And I just tap, and I go sort of in a circle, but I don't want to, I try to not spread my circle out too much. I just want to get this color right from the center, sort of. There we go. Just painting these petals. Look at that beautiful color. And don't you think, so I'm painting this beautiful purple, this deep, beautiful purple with Supernova. And as I'm painting it, I'm feeling like, wouldn't it be pretty? Joni, do you remember the first time I ordered handmade watercolors? I brought them to work because I knew Joni would be just as excited as me. I'm like, Joni, look at these colors. And they were hydrocolors. Those were the first ones I bought. Let's paint something. And we did. That goes there, I think. It's a little twisty. So I'm thinking, wouldn't that Atlantic be pretty mixed in with this? I think that would be gorgeous. So in during Sunday's class, I had talked about if anybody had watched CBS Sunday Morning that morning. Holy smokes! So there are still a couple stories I need to go back and rewatch. And sometimes I just like to rewatch them because I'll hear something different. Do you know what I mean? But the stories that stood out to me were, well, the Mitch album. That one was Tuesdays with Maury. That was such a pivotal book in my life. And if you haven't read it, give it a try. You'll be so happy. It was just so moving. And there was a story about the Judds, which was, oh boy, that was intense. But good intense. Do you know what I mean? There was a big section about that Winona is getting ready to do her first tour without her mom since her mom's passing, and that was something, that's for sure. Okay, so these are all still a little bit wet. I think I'm gonna come in with some of this Atlantic. Oh, look at it's doing that same thing. Just make sure your paints are still wet. And this would work with any paints. It's just doubly beautiful with Myrtle's shimmery handmade watercolors. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. I can't even get over it. Stop it. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's just so beautiful. Oh, I'm loving it. And here's the thing. I'm not usually a shimmery kind of girl. Like, that's not usually my jam. Everybody take a drink. But these paints, I just think you get such depth of color with handmade watercolors that you don't get with mass-produced things. I'm not saying that I don't use mass-produced things every day of my life, but I'm just saying if you want to do something a little bit different. Oh my gosh, I had this boyfriend in junior high. And he wrote me this, I'm going to put a little bit of that deeper purple in there. I remember so vividly, he wrote me a letter, and it was in all different color markers. And he wrote, "If unique is what you seek, I'm the guy for you." Come on, how cute is that? I didn't appreciate it back then, you know, dumb girls. But now I do. I think just deepening that just a little bit, and I'm wondering if we deepen these back petals a little bit, like just a tiny bit of that deeper purple, because I had done some of the lighter purple, right? Oh, I love that so much. I'm gonna let that dry. Then let's use another new color. Have we used every single one yet? Not yet. So let's do this red sunset. I'm gonna work some water into that. Oh, let's see. Let's get back to CBS Sunday Morning. Another. Oh, look at that. Look at that. In all its shimmery glory. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeousness. So what about this guy? What if we did that red? It's so pretty. I think I'm gonna go around this one. I'm feeling like I'm gonna put it on kind of full strength there, but it's pretty opaque and I wanna wash that out. So what if I pull that out? I'm gonna fussy cut these anyway, so. And this one, I think I'm gonna use that Dunes color in the very center. That would be pretty, very autumnal, I think. I love this one because it's kind of splotchy. So I'm anxious to see how that looks in the end. Working that water in there. Trying to go through between those little tiny petals. Oh, so I had talked about in Sunday's class that there was so you need to watch CBS Sunday Morning, and there was a sun designed. You know, remember we made a CBS Sunday Morning sun in what was one of our assignments a long time ago in Inspire Your Heart with Art. Anyway, there was those CBS Sunday Morning suns. I'm telling you, they're just so inspiring. There was a sun that just took my breath away. So much so that I paused the TV and took a picture of it. And then I noticed that when I paused it, it took up my entire TV screen. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Oh, they'll be used on everything. Oh, Jimmy, I'll be using them on, I just use everything on everything. So, yes, remember that next week, my October art printable will be released this week, actually, on Saturday, I believe. Saturday is the 1st, is that correct? You did not, Keels. Keely sent me a picture of a sun, and it was not, although that one was awful beautiful. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to ask you a question while I wait for all this paint to dry. Originally, my art printables were a slimline, an A2, an independent piece of art, and then some sentiments. And then I started to kind of venture off into these, I have to keep it fresh and new for me too. But I just like to mix it up. I need it to be exciting and inspiring for me too. So I did the vintage puppetry. I've been incorporating vintage papers in my art forever. If you look back, you'll see them. It's not a new thing that I'm jumping on a bandwagon with or anything. But then I started to do, a couple years ago, I started to do kind of collage fodder. I started to do bits and pieces like this. So October's is, I will give you a hint, it's more collage fodder, but very Halloweenish. And then November, I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to a slimline, an A2, and a independent piece of art with some sentiments. But I wanted to know, do you have one that you prefer over the other? Do you like that I mix it up, that every month is something different? Like sometimes I do a coverall where I do the whole sheet of art that you can cut up. Those are super fun. I will just say, for me, they're all fun. They're all fun. I like to paint in all different ways. But I'm curious what your thoughts are and what how you view them all. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, I'm gonna come down, work some more water. I like the variety too, Keels, because I like to not just make artsy cards with them. I like to incorporate the art in my art journal. I like to, do all kinds of things with them. Make a banner, make a, kind of whatever tickles your fancy at the time. Thanks, Carol. I'm feeling like this. Thanks, Vicky. Thanks, Debbie. I was just curious, like how other people saw them, what they, Oh, there you go, Jimmy. Yeah, yeah. Well, and in my Bible journaling class, I mix it up there too. Like sometimes I make kind of foddery things. Sometimes I do a big piece of art. I just like to mix it up, you know? I just had this moment this morning. Are you ever hit with these? Well, she's not a little girl. She's a big grown adult now. I had daycare in my house for over 20 years. And I just loved it. I have 2 degrees, one in early childhood education, one in graphic arts. And I got to use them both throughout my whole life. I just love that. Anyway, one of the girls that I took care of, her older brother, who's now a city councilman, shut up, she and her younger sister, who's in junior high now, which is still crazy. Anyway, Khalees, the older daughter, had a baby a couple of years ago, and today was his first day of preschool. Oh my gosh. Oh, it goes so fast. It goes so fast. That's why you gotta just pay attention while you can. That's for sure. That is for sure. Everybody take a drink. Here we go. Let's get some more of this lollipop. Isn't that a pretty color green? It's just bright. Oh my gosh, I know. I count my lucky stars every day, Debbie. I know how lucky I am. I do. I am the luckiest girl. That's for sure. So now I'm coming in with a second coat. I let that dry completely. I think that you get better coverage. We've talked about this before. If you dry in between each layer, unless you're doing blendy stuff like this, but there's just something about letting things dry, letting each layer dry all the way, then it's kind of cured into your paper. Not that water-based mediums can't move with water on top of it. It can, but I think you get a nicer coverage, especially if you're doing something solid like these leaves. And this flower, I drew it specifically so that you could have these be petals or leaves, however you want to paint them. So this guy, these are still pretty wet. I'm feeling like I would really like to do, maybe I want to do this, it's called Donut. Stop it. Oh my gosh, Vicky, that's so cool. I love that. Life just kind of, it's a crazy thing, isn't it? And you just gotta appreciate every layer, every every stage. So I'm working some water into this donut color. Then I think I want to, so funny. So I'm just tapping color into each one of these little circular segments of this flower center. And it's funny because they're so dimensional. They won't be when they dry, but for right now, they look really dimensional. Okay. All right, let's let that dry and see where we go. Look at how pretty that just pops, doesn't it? In the center of those purples and blues. I'm really liking that. And remember, just like always, you can enhance any of these pieces with pen work, with your Posca pens or your gel pens or whatever, you know, whatever strikes your fancy. So now I'm going to do this beautiful dune. I'm going to do it in the center of this flower. Look at that. That is awful pretty. But these center ones, I feel like I want to do something. Good luck, good luck, good luck at your eye appointment, Vicky. I hope all is smooth sailing from now on out. A meteorologist, isn't that fascinating? Well, I bet you, I have a brother-in-law who is so into the weather, and his son has kind of inherited that too. He sends me pictures of cloud formations and that's so funny, Jimmy. Oh my gosh. So when I went to the doctor yesterday, you know, they ask you, like, when's the last time you had your eyes tested? When's the last time you were at the dentist? And I was like, there's $1 million in my mouth right now. I have, so yeah, just last week was when I went to the dentist last. I thought that was so funny. That's bothering me just a little bit. Let that, well, let's come in. I know, and you know what's so funny? What's so funny, Jimmy, is I have so many family members that work in the dentistry industry. So I bemoan my appointments and, you know, to them, but they know I'm kidding. It's a necessary evil, I think. I don't know. And this guy, I don't know where I want to go with it. I haven't used peony or, let's see, let's move that. I haven't used peony or ocean breeze just yet. So maybe we'll use those colors. see what we got. Working. Oh, look at that. Isn't that something? Really work that color in there. More. With that water, I should say. The more you work the water into that, into your shimmery paints especially, but any water-based color like this, paint, like a hard cake of paint, the smoother your application will be. I am using a Connoisseur number 4. You'll notice when you're shopping for brushes that like not all number 4s are the same size or the same consistency. You just need to find out what you like the best. I can tell you size-wise, I like a 2, a 4, a 6. My default is almost always the number 4. Sometimes I paint with a 0 when I want to be more precise, but usually I use a 2 if I'm going small. Some people like to paint with bigger brushes. Some people like to paint with smaller brushes. It's what's comfortable for you, you know? I like a brush that has a good snap. I like a brush that has, I like my bristles. Just a sec, I'll finish this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let this first layer of pink dry. Look at how pretty it is. I like a brush that has, do you see how this is called snap, right? So do you see how it's, and I like my brushes with, let me find another number 4. Is this a number 4? No. What's this one? Okay, this is another number 4. Do you see the difference? These bristles are way longer. I usually don't love that, but I wanted to try something new. I bought this when I was in Texas, and you see $5.95. It's under my $6 limit, but it still had, look at its snap is good. I like a nice snap. Some people like them more floppy. That's usually not my jam, but I have some like these. See how that's not as snappy? And this is my Royal and Langnickel, and it's the Zen brushes. So everybody has different, like a different comfort. Do you know what I mean? So maybe, oh my gosh, Laura, isn't that the truth? No, I'm painting on watercolor paper this morning. So there's a 90-pound watercolor paper that will run through your printer. And I have it listed in my Amazon, in my Anne's Artsy Arsenal section on my website. So be sure to check that out. It makes it, oh, I hope it was a good visit, Debbie. You're sure in my thoughts and prayers. You and yours. That's for sure. anyway, check out that watercolor paper. It's thin. Like I said, it's 90 pound versus 140 pound, which is what you can usually buy like in a watercolor pad. But 140 pound won't go through your printer. So this paper still has watercolor properties, so it still has nice absorbency. It has nice texture. Like I said, I have been printing on it for years now, and I just love it. I just love it. Anywho, 4 minutes. Holy tamale. Well, I guess I will say one more time, if you're brand new here, please like, follow, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott, and Stitch the States with Ann Corbiere-Scott. And then all things Ann and Artsy are on AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com. I would just... So, if you can, Jimmy, I would get a, well, I don't know. So an inkjet printer is going to be a more economical and versatile printer. I happen to have a laser printer, but my husband got it for me on OfferUp for $30. So there's lots. The thing that's most expensive about an inkjet is the cartridges, the ink cartridges. But I will just say, I print a lot, and you know what? I've been on this same cartridge forever and a day. So I don't know. I think this is the only cartridge I've ever bought. So you know, it's up to you. But an inkjet printer will work, and they so, and here's the thing. If you print my art printables on an inkjet printer, you're going to print it, and then you're going to heat seal it with an iron and a paper towel, right? You're going to put a paper towel under it and a paper towel on top, and you're going to heat seal it. And then heat set, I should say. And then you should be able to paint with no smearing. Like, it just needs to be kind of adhered to that paper. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I would do. I don't know. People might list which printers they have here. Inkjet. Keely, what inkjet printer do you have? I don't know. Because my inkjet printer is, it's kind of old. I think it's a HP. HP Envy 4500. Oh, there you go. Epsom WF 3540, and do not need to heat set. There you go. See, so you just never know. Some people heat set by running their print through a laminator. Like, if you put it through that carrier sheet and you just run it through, the heat will just there you go. There you go. Keely says hers doesn't smear, and she's been with me since the beginning of time. So there you go. That's interesting. That's interesting. If you are watching this on the replay, if you would please take a moment to like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're watching it now, once I sign off, if you will give it a thumbs up, so we have lots of thumbs up. That helps me a great deal. I adore you all. Thank you so, so much for watching and hanging and painting. And I don't know where I'm going to go with these, but you'll see. I'll make something out of them and you'll see. Thank you all so much. I hope that you all have a tremendous Tuesday. It's breezy here, but very sunny. So we'll see. We'll see where the day goes. Talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone.